And we also lost Rick Ocasek from the Cars. Just terrible that these guys passed away. Both childhood heroes of mine. Sammy sent out a nice warm tweet in honor of Eddie because he was good friends with Eddie. And he said, R.I.P. my friend, memories like this. And he showed a picture of the two of them from the 70s. And your music will live on forever. Our love goes out to your wonderful family. And I know Bill and you are rocking. He's talking about Bill Graham because they both had that manager. And he's a famous promoter. May every cover band play an Eddie Money song tonight. And they showed this beautiful picture of the two of them. And that was really, really sad. So, and Rick Ocasek from the Cars, Ben Orr from the Cars is already dead. Now Rick Ocasek is gone. Dave, these guys are disappearing. And they're going early in their early 70s. Although there is some sort of discrepancy about how old Rick Ocasek is. People saying he's 70, some people say he's 75. I don't know. What do you make of all this?
I know, it's very sad. I was trying to figure it out, and I don't know how this happened, but Eddie Money is the guy I've seen the most in concert who's not a member of Van Halen.
Now right. We've been to see him.
Because you'd always go to his show.
Yeah.
You know, you would always do press for the show.
Right.
You would always get an extra ticket.
Right, yep.
And I would always tag along.
Yeah.
And I certainly met him more than once.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of times I met the guy.
Yeah.
And really, and everybody says the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's hysterical.
Genuine, down to earth.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, a nicer guy. I mean, like Michael Anthony nice.
Right, he's like Michael Anthony nice, except Mike's a little quieter, and Eddie's funny. Eddie is funny.
He is gregarious.
So, yeah,
he was gregarious.
Yeah, gregarious is big and funny.
Is what he was. Just larger than life. And his shows were always fun.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, my personal favorite Eddie Money song was My Friends, My Friends.
Oh, yeah.
A very underrated song from his catalog.
Yep.
So he will be missed.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the good guys.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And and Rick, I mean, man, that was you're right, it's another, it's coming. I mean, everybody's at that age now. And there was an article that came out recently that said that very thing.
Right.
Like in the next 5-10 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's all coming down.
Yeah, I know.
Because everybody's at that age now.
Yeah.
And, like I always joke, like everyone's going to go except for Keith Richards.
And my joke is that he died in 1982. And this is just we've been living with his corpse all these years. He's like Weekend at Bernie's. Like he died and he's like a Force ghost or something.
It's like, what was that movie, The Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Where the kids, right?
Right.
That's
spoilers on The Sixth Sense in case you didn't see that. Right. That's true. But I tell you, my favorite Eddie Money story is I think you were with me. Do you remember were you with me when we saw him at Malibu on Long Island
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this. This was the craziest thing. So I don't know how this happened, but he played Malibu, which is this old legendary Long Island nightclub in Long Beach, or maybe it was Island Park. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think it's Island Park.
Same difference.
Yeah. So he does a concert. It's fantastic. At the end of every concert, Eddie looks like he ran a marathon. Like he literally is drenched. And Eddie was a big dude. Like he was like a football player big. Like tall, broad, like he's a big guy. And he was a cop. He was a former cop before he became Eddie Money. He's got a nice story too. So for some reason, he didn't sing Baby Hold On, which is like one of his biggest hits. I mean, it was just strange that he didn't do it. So, I don't know if you remember this, Dave, but he jumps off the stage and he goes behind the merch booth to sell T-shirts with his wife. I don't know why. He was signing shirts and getting extra money for like a children's hospital. He's a very charitable guy. So, he was literally, in one hand, had a fistful of dollars and making change. In the other hand, he's signing the shirts. And I guess like he got a shirt from Eddie, and if he signed it or something, like he had a special shirt for the children's thing, and like it was like a little extra money, and they made money off of whatever the hell the deal was. And someone goes, "Eddie, You didn't sing Baby Hold On. And he's behind the merch booth, sweating like an animal, making change in his left hand, signing shirts with his right, and he proceeds to sing it a cappella. Do you remember this?
I remember you telling me
remember
about
they
it.
were him and his wife were fighting?
I don't know if I was at that show.
Oh, maybe you weren't.
I mean, he may have played there more than once.
Yeah. But I tell you, it was.
I do remember the time.
It was a scene like you can't believe.
I do remember the one time we went backstage and I had met his wife, and you made fun of me for like months afterward because I called her Mrs. Money. which was her name, right? So like I didn't know her first name.
Right,
I didn't know her, so I'm not gonna be like, hey Cheryl, how you doing? Like I don't know, right?
Lori,
so I'm like, how do you do, Mrs. Money? And you thought, and I just remember the whole ride home. You thought that was the funniest thing ever. You're like, Mrs. Money, how you doing, Mrs. Money?
It's funny, like the way you said it. It's just like...
I know. So rest in peace, Eddie Money. Yes. We have many fond memories.
Absolutely. So we're moving on to Wolfie here, and this was crazy, Dave. I don't know if you saw this. Holy cow. So, you know, Wolfie, as we all joke around about Wolfie is like a wise ass online. Like, he's like a wise ass millennial. So, and that's fine. So, some fan got a little rough with him online. I mean, the fan was ridiculous. So he starts badgering Wolfie about releasing his album and starts criticizing his father and his uncle. It was absolutely brutal. So he says here, this guy, John Schroeder, said to Wolfgang, put your album out. Don't let the idiot Van Halen brothers kill your music career before it even starts. So then Wolfie responds, I was gonna, but after that tweet, nah. Side note, how would you feel if a cranky stranger called your father and uncle idiots? It's a waste of time being so negative, my guy. So he has like sort of a funny, sardonic tone to him, Wolfie, but he handled it nice. But this guy was aggressive. So he came back, John Schroeder, and says, negative? You're a musician that recorded an album. Why let whomever dictate to you when it's released? One guy chimed in by the name of I.L. Ross, and he says he's not. He just told whomever nah when whomever tried to tell him to release it. Hashtag irony. And then Wolfgang came back and said, LOL, blatant sarcasm seems to fly over both your heads, but I go off. I thought it was pretty clear, ha ha. And then he added, let me put aside the fact that you're basically just said, give me your music. Also, I hate your family. No dumb little twee will influence the release of any of my music. It was sarcasm, and that's all caps. The fact that you took it seriously worries me a little bit. And then the guy says, it's up to you to save the VH legacy. Release the stuff from your vault, the demos from your first album, women and children outtakes. And the guy's going off, Dave. It's unbelievable.
He's saying what all the diehard
yeah, but you don't treat a guy like that. Then he says,
"No, I agree. That's not cool."
Right.
But all I'm saying is he's saying what everybody is thinking.
Right. At the same time, this is his family, so
no, it's not. It's totally uncalled for.
Right, and especially if this guy's father is sick. I mean, it's really disturbing. So then he says here, you make a lot of money and give the fans what they want. It's a win-win. And then Wolfie shot back, nah. You don't want to listen to what those idiots made, which is kind of funny. If you listen to the way he writes, it's really kind of funny. Right. So then this other guy, L.I. Ross, says, oh, I thought that stuff about your dad, uncle, and negativity was sincere. Wolfgang posted in response, he posted his response and he circled what was sarcastic to point it out to the guy. He says here, I circled the sarcasm in the tweet since you're having such a hard time finding it. The circle is in red. Everything that is circled is sarcasm. Everything that isn't sarcasm is not circled.
I get why Wolf is doing that because I mean the other guy was totally out of line.
I know.
But actually, this is where he actually could learn something from his father because you don't want to give these people fuel.
No, I know.
Because it just keeps going,
it never ends.
And sometimes Wolf is in danger of coming across as like I was going to say the snotty little kid.
Yeah,
but
no,
he's not a kid anymore.
Not
I mean, the
anymore,
guy's
no.
in his older 20s now.
Yeah.
So, but that kind of thing doesn't reflect well. Unfortunately, when you don't say anything, this is what happens.
Right.
I'm not excusing the other person's behavior at all.
Right.
But this is the level of frustration when at the beginning of the year you're like, oh, I can't wait to release my music.
Right.
And now it's September and there's nothing.
Right.
And the silence is deafening.
Right. Exactly.
So unfortunately, that's what happens.
That's the truth. So now another item is Weezer, the band Weezer, okay, released a new single called End of the Game earlier this month, and it's from their forthcoming album called Van Weezer. If you listen to the song, it instantly has an Eddie Van Halen style guitar. The video starts with a Weezer logo transfixed into a Van Halen logo with the wings on it. And it sort of has a dazed and confused vibe to it with this alien guy going to like a house party for a high school student. And it's sort of absolutely kind of bizarre. I don't know what to make of this whole thing. The funny thing about it is this album is not coming out until next May.
Wow, really?
I swear to God. They released a single and the album is coming out in May.
Wow.
Now, the funny thing is that the album is supposed to be very riff rock oriented, hence the name Van Weezer. So I guess it's some sort of play off of like Van Halen. The song is sort of pop rock. Then the weird part is there's another little Van Halen twist to it in the sense that the little alien guy in the video is chased by a guy in a yellow hazmat suit like Michael J. Fox was wearing in Back to the Future when he plays the Eddie Van Halen tape for George McFly, which I thought was another nod to Van Halen. But I don't know what is going on here, but this is what's happening within the Weezer camp, and they're obviously paying some sort of homage to Van Halen. So I just wanted to throw that out there. What do you make of this, Dave? What do you think is happening here with Weezer?
Well, I'm glad someone's paying attention to Van Halen.
Yeah, somebody, right?
Right.
Incredible. I also wanted to quickly report, I went to see Extreme just a couple weeks ago. They were phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The band is so underrated, so tight, so good. And there was little Van Halen droplings all throughout the night. They played Get the Funk Out, and they ended the song with the Van Halen Hot for Teacher ending. You know, the big walloping ending of Hot for Teacher? That's how they ended the song.
Nice.
And Nuno, while playing Cupid's Dead, the song from like 1993 from the third Extreme album, he played part of Eruption in concert. So I thought that was kind of funny, you know what I mean? Like little glimpses to Van Halen. And to be honest with you, Dave, I really thought that they could throw like Without You into the set there, and it actually would work. You know, if Gary was so kind of...
No, they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that. But I just thought because Nuno's such a fan. But anyway, Gary was in great form, great voice, sounded amazing, running all over the stage. He was fantastic. Really, really good. So if Extreme is out there, go see him. And the last item for this massive news segment is Steve Vai is releasing Stillness in Motion this month. This is going to be a DVD that captures his performance of the Club Nokia in Los Angeles from October 12th, 2012. And it's going to be on 2 Blu-ray discs with 2 CDs. And it's going to have all kinds of extra stuff on the Blu-ray. There's going to be this bonus material called The Space Between the Notes, Tour Mischief. It runs $39.98, and then there's like a bigger version that comes with a T-shirt and a commemorative guitar pick and hot sauce, and it's like a whole. That's like for $59.98, and so check that out. That's gonna be coming out on Sony. As be putting that out through his personal label, Light Without Heat.
Another guy hawking hot sauce.
I know, right? So many hot sauces out there. Rock and roll hot sauce. That's like a big deal these days. Soon we should have the Dave and Dave Unchained hot sauce. Maybe that'll be for...
Gotta monetize this thing somehow.
Somehow, right? Much like your groin, we're shrinking. I love your silence.
I don't know why I come for the news anymore. I just show up.
Oh, God. Well, that